Hello guys, and welcome to another video where I'm going to be taking you through a full tutorial for how to do the incline dumbbell bench press. So this exercise is great for targeting the chest primarily, more specifically the upper part of the chest, and slightly working the triceps and the anterior part of the shoulders, so the front part of your shoulders. So with this exercise, you do want to bring the bench slightly up, so it's at an incline level, so it's not completely flat. You want to bring it up to a 45-degree angle, making sure that your head is nice and comfortable on the bench. With your arms, you do want to keep your elbows around halfway from the shoulders and the elbows, so not all the way out to your shoulders and not right next to your body, to ensure as much sort of activation on the chest rather than shifting too much tension onto the shoulders or primarily focusing on the triceps. Okay, now with this exercise as well, you don't want to fully extend your elbows when you're pressing up. You want to leave that tiny little bend. There's no need to bring the weights in together at the top. You just come straight up and straight back down. And with the breathing, just breathe in on the way down and breathe out on the way up. Now, to help with heavy weights, to get the weights into position, place them onto your legs and then use your legs to kick them up towards your upper body. It's much easier to do this than trying to bicep curl the weights up. You can also swing the dumbbells back and forth to help generate a bit more momentum, to just help it get up onto your legs, rather than again just purely lifting up the dumbbells onto your legs. So some good little tips with this exercise to really focus on trying to maximize the amount of tension placed on the upper chest is to try and continuously have it engaged. So trying to squeeze and tense up the chest as much as possible throughout the movement to ensure as much chest activation as possible rather than the triceps kicking in or the shoulders kicking in. Another tip to remember is to tense up and engage your stomach to help take any sort of discomfort away from the lower back and to prevent any extreme sort of excessive arches in the lower back. It's perfectly normal to have a slight arch, so a slight sort of inward curve, but you don't want it to be too much. Another thing is keep your bum on the seat. It's a common mistake that I always see with this exercise. Keep your bum on the seat, keep your legs completely still, and spread your feet apart from each other to keep yourself a bit more stable. And even put some pressure into the ground with your feet to ensure you're stable throughout the entire movement. Just helps that little bit extra. So another common mistake that I see is with the range of motion. Now, with this particular exercise, a lot of people can have restricted ranges of motions depending on how flexible or stiff their chest is or your shoulders. Now, generally speaking, a good ball mark to go for is trying to lower your elbows down to shoulder level, keeping that sort of right angle position in your arm. You can go slightly lower than your shoulders if you have no sort of mobility issues or any kind of muscular skeletal issues in your shoulders. You get the tiny little increase in chest activation and tricep activation, but try not to go as far down as you possibly can, because it has shown in research that it doesn't significantly increase the amount of activation on your chest, but it does actually significantly increase your chances of shoulder injury. But saying that, as long as you're warming up appropriately and doing some extra mobility work for the shoulders and you have no issues with your rotator cuffs or joints, then generally it is okay to go down there, as long as you're not going super heavy. So with hypertrophy weight training is generally fine. But if you're going to go for more very heavy kind of 3 to 5 reps, then I would recommend to just have your elbows down to shoulder level. And the last sort of common mistake that I see is when people are lowering the dumbbells, they sort of bring the dumbbells in together, so they sort of flex their elbows as they're coming down. Therefore, you're not maintaining a right angle position with your arm when you're at that lowering phase, which is not good, because that's where you are able to maintain that decent amount of chest activation. When you bring the dumbbells into your body, so almost as if the dumbbell, the side of them are resting on your chest, you do minimize the amount of chest activation. So try to always maintain that straight line when you're pressing the weight up and down. And at that lowering phase, you should be maintaining a right angle position with your arms. No need to bring the dumbbells in together at the top, so don't touch them together. There's actually no point in doing that. Just maintain that straight line. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was very useful and informative for you. Let me know what your thoughts are on this particular exercise, and if you do want me to do any tutorial videos in the future for any particular exercises, feel free to put a comment in below. And remember, there are loads of variations for working this particular muscle group, and this is generally the most popular one that I see in the gym.